How about Coronation Fire give a big hand to the Dixie Jubilee for the great music they played today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was great. I'm David Dennard, and I'd like to welcome you all to Stone Mountain Park for our National Confederate Memorial Day service. We've had a lot of help this year. National is recognized in the state of Georgia. SCV is recognized. It's my privilege to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow compatriots to this Dixie Day celebration, our 18th annual Confederate Memorial Day at Stone Mountain. Once again, the monument before us is in honor of our Confederate kin. It is a dedication to the men and women and children who gave it all. It stands as the South's greatest vindication, for it proves that the cause for which the Confederate soldier fought and died for was not a lost cause, as the false history has taught us. We need to teach our children the truth. That's what today is about, to honor our Confederate ancestors and keep it going. They're called the true constitutional republic. To save the republic for which the Confederate soldiers' forefathers had fought for some 100 years before. The South is truly a great land for freedom. That's why the Confederate soldier is admired all over the world. This is why we should never let our children be taught anything else but the truth about the men who wore the gray. At this time, I'd like to ask Chaplain Herman White from the National Sons of Confederate Veterans, please come forward and give our invocation. Everybody please rise and then uncover, and after that we'll have the pledges and salutes.
If you was from North Carolina, you'd know what's fixing to happen. Aren't you glad you're the descendant of a Confederate Southern American? Woo! We are awake, we can pray, can't we? All right, let's pray. Eternal God, we're grateful for this day, for this great event that you have blessed us to be able to gather together to be a part of. We thank you because of all those that have put forth the effort in planning and causing it to happen. We do thank you because of all them that have come to be a part of it, to honor our great Confederate ancestors. We do pray that you would bless throughout this time of memorial, of that we commemorate as well as celebrate our great Confederate heritage. Eternal God, we pray that you would move throughout the proceedings, that you would work in it all to glorify your name and to bless us that have gathered together to pay tribute to our great Confederate ancestors. But may we never forget that the bedrock of their culture was that the Bible is indeed the infallible Word of God and Jesus Christ the only means of redemption. Amen. We praise you for that fact, and we ask all these favors in his name that loved us and died for us. And amen. Amen. Yes! Don't you feel good?
Thank you, compatriot White. At this time, Major Cook will bring in the presentation of the colors.
Make way!
Thank you, Major Cook, and all you gentlemen that came to participate today in the Honor Guard and taking your time out to help save your Confederate ancestors' memory and to show the cause for the South. At this time, I'd like Colonel Rick Daniels to do the flag salutes. The first to be the American flag, then the Georgia flag, then the Confederate flag. Rick, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the pledge to the Georgia flag. I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation. And the salute to the Confederate flag. I salute the Confederate flag with affection, reverence, and undying devotion to the cause for which it stands. Thank you. Everybody can be seated, please. Thank you, Colonel Daniel. This time, I'd like to recognize guests and people that helped participate in putting this event together. Major Cook for the Honor Guard, David Ford's time, and all his time. Tim Pilgrim, the Georgia Sons of Confederate Veterans, my wife Deborah, that kept me beat on the head. And probably and then Stone Mountain Memorial Association, the Stone Mountain Park, and the Silver Dollar City staff for their help. And a special thanks goes to all of you for coming today. And at this time, I'd like to recognize different groups and also who came the furthest to come to this event. Anybody from Hawaii? Alaska? California? Texas? All right, we'll go through the rest of the states.
No.
That's still a Republic of Texas, isn't it? All right, Florida. North Carolina. South Carolina. Tennessee. Virginia. Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Louisiana. The Show Me State, Missouri. Kentucky. And that two-sided state, Maryland. Alabama, who? Well, they know they were still a state. I thought they succeeded. Alabama. Arkansas.
Just great.
Did anybody have overlooked the count? Georgia, we're already here. Georgia. Well, correctly, it's J-A-W-J-A, Georgia. For real? I got men from Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. All right. How about New Jersey? Thank you very much for all y'all coming out and participating today. I hope you're enjoying it. I like for the people to raise their hand. Members of the Ladies United Daughters of Confederacy. Give them a big hand. Some of you may know or might know, they are the cause of this statue to be carved on the mountain. They started it. They didn't get to finish it, but they started it. And on the back of your program, read that 1970 inauguration and dedication to the monument that Herman Talmadge wrote. There was 100,000 people here that day. Now, can you imagine what that looked like? 100,000 Southerners in one place. That was more than was at Gettysburg. All right. Order the Confederate Rose. Military Order Stars and Bars. Sons of the Confederate Veteran. Mechanized Cavalry, the Sons of the Confederate. Old Guard, the Gate City Guard. And a very much heartfelt thank you to all the veterans that served and are now currently serving in our armed forces. Thank you! Those people have served in the military are the reason we're here today. Be able to still do this program and still have freedom of speech. And thank you for all your service to our country. We will have greetings from several of the historical, I call them historical heritage organizations now. The first one will be Deborah Dennard, Chapter 18, United Daughters of the Confederacy.
Welcome, everybody. We thank you all for coming today. Welcome to One Woman's Dream. July 1895 found the good ladies of Atlanta gathered in the parlor of the Ivy Hall, the home of Helen Wimberly Peters on Ponce de Leon Avenue. It still stands today. Talking as we do, you know men how women talk. They came up with a plan, a dream. They had no idea what their dream would become. During this meeting, Mrs. Helen Plain organized Atlanta Chapter 18 of the newly formed United Daughters of the Confederacy. She served as the first president and organized the Georgia chapters into a division and then served as its division president. But the ladies didn't stop there. They knew Atlanta would be hosting the Cotton States Exposition from September to December of 1895. The ladies asked the men in charge for a building for the Confederate relics. They were told there was no plans to have it there, nor was there any room for another building. They were shocked. And you know what happens when women get shocked? They get angry. Forget the Confederate soldier? No, that was not to happen. They were not deterred. They went to work. By opening day, they had raised all the money they needed to rent a piece of property at the very far corner of the expo site, build a building, and then fill it with artifacts. In the Confederate exhibit hall included a book for the veterans to sign. There are transcribed copies of every veteran who went in there and signed. It was one of the most visited exhibits at the expo. Mrs. Plain was not done dreaming. In 1912, she began to share her dream with others. A sculptor was hired in 1915, and in 1916, the Venable family deeded the face of Stone Mountain, what you see behind us. They deeded it over to the UDC, who would then start work on it. On the front of your program, the dream that Atlanta Chapter 18 had, that was our dream then. It was a dream that was very big. We all know what happened after the carving was begun. There were artistic differences, a depression, world wars, and the money ran out. In 1958, the state of Georgia purchased the building, the monument back here that was already started, and the Stone Mountain Memorial Association was founded to oversee the mountain and still remains today. The remarks of Senator Herman Talmadge at the dedication of the Stone Mountain in 1970 says it all. Quote, "The monument we dedicated today represents the South that is now and always will be proud part of our history and our heritage." Unquote. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for honoring the brave men who wore the gray.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Colonel Ross Glover, Jr., the Commandant of the Old Gate City Guard of Atlanta.
Brothers and sisters, it gives me great pleasure to be here and to represent the Old Guard, one of the oldest military units in the state of Georgia. And what happened? Anyway, hope you have a good time. Those people have a state. I know the Georgians are going to have a great time. So enjoy yourself.
Thank you, Ross. We'll have a slight intermission. Even though the cannons are louder than the train. Everybody wave. Turn the cannon, we'll rob the train. There's nobody on it.
That's not the general.
Oh, then all the Yankees in the rear, right?
God bless Dixie! It's all back.
Well, Commander Tim, you've got a strong Southern voice. Now I present Commander of the Sons of Georgia Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans, Tim Pilgrim, who has helped in battling and helped setting up today. Tim?
Feel free with that microphone. Compatriots, friends and neighbors, the Georgia Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans, welcome you to the largest Confederate memorial in the world. So, we do want to thank you all for being here. And I'd like, David said some thanks, and I'd like to throw out a couple more thanks, especially to David Denard and David Floyd. Those two gentlemen have been organizing this. This is their 18th year, and it takes a lot of work to do that, and they deserve a lot of gratitude from us and a lot of respect for all they've done. And thank you guys for everything you've done. I'd like to thank the Stone Mountain Memorial Association. They were very instrumental in helping us and getting us our cannons, being here by the lawn, being able to have a speaker system this year. So I'd like to thank CEO Bill Stevens and the park staff, and also the Stone Mountain Police Force. Thank y'all so much for all y'all do for us. Another final thanks is to the leadership of the National Sons of Confederate Veterans and the GEC. They really supported this event this year. They went all out to make it a big event for us, and they know the importance of having these events and us being here to celebrate our Confederate heritage. So our thanks to the national leadership of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, because they were a big part of having this event today. So thank you, Commander Gamble and GEC. So folks, let me tell you some Georgia law. Georgia law, Georgia State Code 12-3-191 states that Stone Mountain and the adjacent properties around the mountain is acquired for a Confederate monument. So by state law, this mountain and all these grounds around the mountain is a Confederate memorial by state law. And the main purpose of the Stone Mountain Memorial Association is to maintain an appropriate and suitable memorial to the Confederacy. Now this is state law. Also, more state law. Georgia State Code 1-4-20. The month of April of each year is hereby designated as Confederate History and Heritage Month, and shall be set aside to honor, observe, and celebrate the Confederate States of America, its history, those who served in its armed forces and government, and all those millions of citizens who contributed to the cause which they held so dear. From its founding on February 4th, 1861 in Montgomery, Alabama, until the Confederate ship CSS Shenandoah sailed into Liverpool Harbor and surrendered to the British authorities on November 6, 1865. Officials and the departments of the state of Georgia counties, municipalities, boards of education, elementary and secondary schools, colleges and universities, businesses, and all the citizens are encouraged to participate, display, and the activities that commemorate and honor our shared history each April during Confederate Heritage and History Month. State law, folks. So, I can tell you today, it can be said without a doubt that we are complying with state law, right? I mean, we're here. We're law-abiding citizens. But we've had a rough few years, y'all all know. Our heritage has been under full attack by the media, by the liberal establishment, the media, and spineless politicians. We have systematically seen our monuments destroyed and removed in New Orleans, Dallas, Texas, Austin, San Antonio, Memphis, Louisville, Baltimore, Durham and Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and here in Georgia, at Myrtle Hill Cemetery in Rome, Georgia, and also Sylvania, Georgia, where we had a Confederate monument toppled there. The vandalism is alive, and trying to remove every bit of our Confederate heritage is well alive. But I do have some good news. We have stood through it, and we stood our ground. But about a week ago, the Georgia state legislature passed by overwhelming majority Senate Bill 77, which gives Georgia, the state of Georgia, some of the toughest monument laws in the country, here in Georgia. All we need is the governor to sign it, so y'all be sure and write him a letter and give him a call. But I think the governor's going to do the right thing. So I submit to you folks that the tide is turning. People have had enough of this chaos. The chaos created by the leftist agenda to destroy everything Southern and all things American. But by you being here today sends a message to those who would destroy our heritage. We send a message that we're standing our ground like our forefathers did. So God bless you and thank you for coming.
Jeff Appiah, Justice Speaker for us short Irish. At this time, I'd like to welcome the Army of Tennessee Commander, Mr. Jason Bowsher. I've seen you somewhere before.
Yes, sir, you have.
In the post office. Your picture
Yes, sir, I was
there.
there. My picture was right beside yours.
Yes, sir. I got 2 copies.
You got 2 copies. Aren't y'all a beautiful group?
Thank you.
My beloved brothers and sisters of the Southland, with Confederate blood still flowing through your veins. Isn't it alive and great to be in Dixie today? We are here doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, honoring and respecting our relatives. You can call them your ancestors, and they are, but they are your relative. We are as close to them as you can get. I can think of no finer place to be. Look at it. The largest, and we're here. We have to think what those men went through. We are remembering those men and those women who sacrificed it all. As they say, they interposed their bodies between a gathering legion and their home, and they gave all that they can do. That's why we're here today. May God bless Dixie. Thank everybody for being here.
Thank you, compatriot Jason. And that next person on the agenda is the National Son of the Confederate Veteran Army of Tennessee Councilman Jimmy Hill. Jimmy?
He didn't have any trouble pronouncing my name. Yep. One of the things, though, that our esteemed MC did was decimate my 2-minute talk that I got. I was going to do a roll call, and I'm not going to redo the roll call. But I do want to recognize one group, and to do that, I have got to come out of this jacket. Because there is one group who always is at the front lines. So if you're mechanized cavalry, I want to hear from you right now. I saw a lot of postings on the week prior, and part of it was instituted by Commander-in-Chief Gramling, wanting everyone to come. I saw a lot of posts saying, I don't know if I can get there. I'm not sure if I can make it. And then I went on to my mechanized cavalry page, and it was, where are we meeting at? Where are we spending the night at? Where are we going to meet at what exit to get there? And so the mechanized cavalry, again, turns out the same way. As they're saying in Alabama, and I know Captain Pat's here somewhere. Somewhere he's here. But anyway, we have a saying in Alabama, when you want something done, call the Met Cap. So that's the end of my part of roll call. And I want to tell you why I'm here. And I'm going to have to read this because this one I don't have to memory. I should. So this is a short excerpt from a soldier's letter that explains why we are here today, specifically myself. And it's from Sergeant Edward Smith, Company B, 54th Alabama. Colonel Baker was made Brigadier General today and was made over our brigade. We went to Georgia. The first battle I was in was at Dalton. And from Dalton, I was in every skirmish and battle to Atlanta. I got a 30-day furlough when we went back to Alabama due to my illness. I never made it back to my command. And a little more of an addition to it, it says, and from Private Calvin Coleman, while we were at home, we learned the Yankees were in the neighborhood of us. I, along with Ed Smith and Billy Haston, left our homes going for the Tennessee River, intending to cross over to get back to our lines. The Yankees overtook us at Holt's Trestle on the Nashville and Decatur Railroad and made us prisoners of war. We were taken to Huntsville and put in jail there. We did not remain there long. After the surrender of the Confederate forces by General Robert E. Lee and Joseph E. Johnson, we were taken to Nashville and paroled. That's the reason why I'm here. Sergeant Edward Smith was my third great-grandfather. And so he served from Dalton, Georgia, all the way down below Atlanta to Peachtree Creek, finally made it home, was captured, and never made it back. I probably might not even been here. The 54th Alabama went on to Franklin, and the 54th Alabama was almost completely wiped out. So being captured in this case probably was a good thing for me. So I welcome you to Georgia. I hope you have a good time. The AOT commander, our councilman, wishes to thank Division Commander Tim Pilgrim and his staff and all the Georgia Division members for doing an excellent job here. They've had some things to overcome, and they've overcome it very well. Tomorrow's newspaper, if you read it, it's probably going to say there was anywhere from 50 to 150 people at Stone Mountain Park. Look around, you know that number's a little bit low. So thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Jimmy. At this time, I'd like to introduce National SCV Chief of Heritage, Donnie Kennedy. All righty, dive in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.